Alright. Ladies and me, and gentlemen, welcome to the week 3 of the PTL, where in the first game of today, we will have SK6 versus Don't Ban Falcons, and I'm just giving them the okay checking. To see if they're ready for the picks and bans. There we go. We have it on screen at the moment. And I'm just giving them the okay for the picks and bans. Now these are two teams that have a lot at stake in this tournament at the current moment. Neither of them have actually gained a victory as of yet. So they'll be looking up to pick up their wins. Now whether they will be able to remains to be seen. But the picks and bans phases have started, and it's going to be curious to see which team comes out on top and which team has a clear idea of what they want to do and how they want to play the game. Now immediately we see that coming out is a Scion ban, apparently targeted at a new top laner for SK6, Xerx, and the Kog'Maw ban is in retaliation. They have a diamond AD carry, Dantix, who is renowned for playing Kog'Maw only, as a Kog'Maw main. And I expect the Caitlyn to be banned as well in his name, or be picked up early as first pick. Let's see, hopefully this will look better with the music wise. Now Sejuani is banned. They don't want to give Red Banana a chance to go on a champion that he could be comfortable in. That's dumb and loads up a lot of CC. Whether they will actually stop him, because still the Nunu is left open, and there we go. The Caitlyn is out. Completely banned. Let's quickly check. Alright. Now what these bans tell me is that SKT6 is putting a lot of effort and emphasis on shutting down the enemy AD carry, as well for the fact that they want to enable themselves in succeeding in the bot lane. But now Don't Ban Falcons retaliates with a Sona ban. And lastly, the Alawi ban is being hovered. Whether they pull it through remains to be seen, because they have been speculating on not banning it at all, claiming to have an answer for the Alawi, but whether they do or don't, we'll never know, because they do ban the Alawi indeed, and the Yuumi is left open for Patriot and will be a first pick, early pickup. Yuumi obviously strong, even though the last game that they played, it went a little bit sour. The Yuumi pick still managed to create a lot of good engages and advantages, and is great at buffing up a single individual beyond comprehension. Last game that they played, that was the Nessus. We'll be curious to see what top laner will be picked up this game, and I have my suspicions that they're going to be looking and eyeing on a Swain top lane, I've been told. Now for SKT6, they're going to pick up a comfort pick. They're hovering the Ezreal and they're lock it in. Dave has been known to play a lot of Ezreal, but what kind of support will they go with? It only makes sense to lock in the support right now when the Yuumi has already been shown. You have no reason to leave it open behind, because you're just going to reveal more of your hand. Ezreal is a very safe first pick as well, and this is the perfect opportunity to lock in your bot lane. And they pick up a Lulu. Now, one of the things that I must admit that Lulu and Ezreal isn't really a match made in heaven. In fact, Ezreal doesn't really work with a lot of supports traditionally, and Lulu especially, who's great at like buffing up hyper carry AD carries. Ezreal is not really her pick, and there Zeus finally gets his Falcons in the meantime. But one of the things that Lulu does do is she's great at providing disengage opportunities for her team. When she's being engaged upon, her polymorph will be able to stop any hard engages that the enemy team might throw at them. However, looking at the way the enemy team picks their champions and the way they draft it, heavy engages might not be the thing that they're worried about. Zeus finally gets a comfort pick with the Velkos and the Twitch is being locked in. I can only imagine a mid laner being picked up right now, but perhaps they want to pick up the top laner's pick first. And it is neither of those. They're going to pick the Nunu and Willip for Red Banana, who has been decently successful, though not as impactful with it as he would like to be. And we'll see how this continues. The Swain being banned, potentially. There we go. They don't want to let the Swain go through. The Swain is a very strong pick this patch. Got buffed very immensely the past 2 patches. And finally, Baduk, who has always dreaded playing Swain, has shown a liking towards the champion. It'll be interesting what he will play, but there's still a lot open on the table. Tryndamere, Singed, Nasus again could be picks that he looks to play towards, but SKT is setting themselves up to have a very nice kite composition. So perhaps that would not be the right call to do. Next up, the Kha'Zix is being banned. The Silverpin has played a certain amount of Kha'Zix, but not a lot. And it's not a ban that I personally would go, especially during the recent nerfs that have reduced this 20%. Where was the Singe ban, indeed? Thank you, Harry, for joining me.
Okay, this is going to be a clown fiesta. It's going to be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we pick Rise, fun. Just going to get poked to shit by Vel'Koz.
I don't think
what SK6 draft.
I think what they're going for is for scaling comp with the Rise. They usually try to play comps that only scale because they feel like with the macro that Dave is providing for the team, they can out macro a team. But so far in the last 2 games it has not worked. And I feel that banning the Kha'Zix is not really worthwhile. The Kha'Zix is not really going to catch anyone. And with the Lulu polymorph, it doesn't really matter if he jumps on anyone, because then he's going to get redundant and going to get blown up by the combo. However, the Rise is still very strong for roam potential.
Oh, so we're going to see big dumb tanks fighting in the top lane with a Maokai and... Oh, what's going to pick into that? Mordekaiser, I suppose, is available still.
Mordekaiser is still available, but Zerix, even though he played Mordekaiser, he's not as comfortable on it. But we will see. At the very least, Maokai is a very good engaged champion together with Warwick. It's the one thing that this team has lacked so far. So now they finally have an engage, and they're gonna create a difficult time for the Lulu to prioritize who to polymorph as well, that the disengage.
Yep, it's a Maud pick.
It's a Maud pick indeed. And that concludes this draft.
Go on then, Carlo. What do you like about the drafts? What do you not like about them?
So, there are a couple things that are to like and not like. Let's first look over at Don't Ban Falcos. The Yuumi Twitch combination is really strong. Twitch is a hyper carry, AD carry that once he gets 3 items, or some would even argue 2 items, he can get incredibly strong. And especially with the Yuumi added on top of this movement speed, this heal, he's gonna be definitely a force to reckon with.
Carlo, just let me stop you for a second there. Let's think. Don't ban Vel'Koz. Who's the best player on Don't Ban Vel'Koz?
Depends who you argue for.
Right,
Dante.
who you argue is... Alright, so you've got Dantix and... Who's in the top lane?
Baduk.
So you're putting one of your strongest players on fucking dumb tank duty?
That is true, but dumb tank QT or not, Maokai is still a dumb tank that does a dumb amount of damage. Especially with the crowd control in his kit, it's insane the amount of damage he's able to put out. Maybe he picks up a Rod of Ages to even and not go fully the dumb tank build to get a little bit of scaling in.
Alright, so I'm going to say this now. Count the number of Warwick missed ults, because that's what I'm going to be doing in this fucking game.
That
I am going to be watching them fly fucking everywhere as they stick Silver Pin on a fucking... He's going to be missing them left, right and centre.
Yeah, I don't feel like this is a great pick for Silverpin. It's too... Warwick is a champion that relies a lot of micromanaging and as well on... like, it excels if you know how to do the proper pathings. But Silverpin is so far, and I don't mean that as an offense, the weakest link in Don't Ban Falcos. So putting in on a champion that is not too good at the moment and that's also gonna have a really tough time against a heavy disengage composition, I feel ya. It's gonna fly everywhere.
So, alright, what do you like about SKT6 then, Carolo? Looking at the ban or the picks, what do you think?
Okay, so I like the disengage that they have, but I also like the roam potential. Ryze brings so much to the table. That's the reason why, even though he gets nerfed over and over in high competitive play, he still gets picked up simply due to the fact that this ult allows the enemy team to rotate in an instant. If someone goes for Dragon, you can instantly rotate your team for Baron. If you need to roam bot, then you can instantly get a good positioning going and everything is great. I also like the Mordekaiser. The Mordekaiser will be very important if, for example, the Twitch or the Vel'Koz gets fed, and especially for if someone, if it's someone that the Yuumi is on top of. If the Mordekaiser ults the person that Yuumi is on top of, then Yuumi disappears from that person and is incredibly vulnerable for a short amount of time, where a Ryze and an Ezreal can instantly burst it down.
What the fuck is that new pick? What the fuck is that?
I think...
Get some fucking diversity in this jungle champion pool. Pick fucking auto attackers. They're not high skill cap. Why Nunu? It fucking makes me cry every time he picks it.
It happens, but it's a champion that he's comfortable at. Maybe he can finally show that he's improved somewhat. However, Nunu is quite opposite to what this entire team wants to do, but maybe a necessity later in the game when they look to re-engage. Because what Nunu wants to do is constantly snowball in and set up engages, where the Lulu, the Ezreal and even the Ryze and the Mordekaiser constantly trill over disengage compositions, and they want the enemy to come at them and then punish them for stepping up too close, where the Nunu constantly wants to go in. However, this is still a scaling composition that they've drafted. Ryze and Ezreal do really well in the late game. So if they do manage to do that, then it's also important that they have the Nunu to go in there, soak up all the attention, and then allow the Ryze and Ezreal to flourish in the team fight.
I mean, it'll be interesting. The true question is whether the Mordekaiser can land those ults on the Twitch and just remove him from the team fights. I mean,
that's his only job.
Yeah,
shutting down the Twitch.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see now that Don't Ban Vel'Koz for the first time have managed to actually pick up Vel'Koz. See how they manage to do, see whether their name is truly true, or will teams leave the Vel'Koz open after this game, because they're the first time that anyone's left it open after the first round of picks. It's
indeed time for Zeus to prove his mettle, and to prove that it's indeed better for him to play this champion, and I don't know, I have mixed feelings about his Vel'Koz. People have been memeing that Zeus's Vel'Koz is platinum rate when the rest of his champion pools is silver rate. I personally have not found his Vel'Koz that impressive as of yet.
Yeah, but I haven't found any of those other mid lane picks particularly impressive.
Yeah, so I'm looking to prove me wrong, as well as the fact that Vel'Koz is not that strong this patch. There are a lot more stronger mid laners this patch that could be picked up, but it looks like the game is about to start and I'm loading into the game at the moment.
Well, I'm gonna go and grab a beer while you do the start of this.
Alright. Let's see if my stream setup still works perfectly fine as we load into the first game of week 3 from the PTL, where both of these teams look to get a win on the board. SK6 is more desperate for this win than Don't Ban Falcons, but for both teams it would be very nice and a morale booster. SK6 didn't have a win as of yet, and is definitely looking hungrily for that win, where Don't Ban Falcons also looks to make up for the mistakes that they did in their last game with the Nasus that got completely obliterated by the infest that was going on. Now, let me get loading screen. Alright. And we're loaded into the game. Let's see if everything works as in order. As you guys always request, I will instantly put this around. And we'll see if they do any weird shenanigans. First things. Gonna speed it up. It looks like Red Team is going for a full defensive strategy where they will be able to spot out anyone coming in. However, the Nunu is standing awfully close by, so if Vel'Koz lands a... I don't think it's called a rupture, but... then it will definitely be difficult for him to escape, but it looks like Don't Ban Falcons is not that eager to go for it.
Nah, that full court spread, defensive as fuck, they're not doing anything.
No, they're not. Banana
Oh.
did place his ward down and is now likely going to pick up the sweep. He does not pick up the sweeper. He
Not good guy Maokai, not using his mana to help do the jungle clear. Could be throwing all of those saplings in the bush, making that first jungle clear so easy. I suppose Warwick doesn't need it. So they're both starting bottom half. Getting hard leashes. I mean, neither of them needs it, but it will just make their jungle clear quicker.
Warwick can definitely sustain itself, where Nunu can also, with his bite, easily get all his HP back.
Yeah, so neither of them are going to... They both should have a fairly quick and healthy clear. I mean, no one's going to be invading on each other. But I'm a bit concerned about how long it's taking Nunu to clear that first camp.
Yeah, and he doesn't go for the Gromp. Nunu excels at single target damage, so it would make a lot more sense for him to go for the Gromp. Instead, he leaves it on the side. It's a lot of gold and experience.
So he's going to have to go Raptors, then Red to get it. So he's taken the camps that are most inefficient in terms of XP to clear.
Perhaps his intent is to leave it up so he can clear full top side and then go bot again, get the scuttle, gets bot scuttle then after the Gromp, and then gank bot lane and shut down the Twitch early.
Maybe. I mean, I just like taking the Gromp. If you're going to focus bot lane, take the Gromp early, because the Gromp's going to be up by the time that you come back round.
However, neither did Silverpin take the Krugs, one of the experience-wise most valuable jungle camps in the jungle. And it's important to at least to have a look at it and go for it as a jungler, especially...
Both these jungle paths are fucking horrible. Warwick's gone red, Raptors, blue, and then Gromp. And Nunu's gone blue, wolves, and then he did chickens, then red.
But it looks like now there's gonna be a gank in the mid lane. With the snowball coming in, the berries popped.
Oh, the flash.
Oh, the flash is popped, but...
He's fucked.
And with a flash he managed to escape. The Warwick is still lurching in the sides. He's going in, the flash, and he got the kill. But now the Rise, will he be able to pick it up?
By the way, Carlo, you do not mean lurching, you mean lurking.
Lurking,
Meaning
and the
rocking
rise.
around.
The rise, however, does pick up the kill, even though my vocabulary still needs to catch up with this game.
I don't know, I'm now considering Warwick just lurching around the map.
Ooh.
Just, oh, abusive motherfucker.
That
Oh,
looked very good. That looked very cheesy. I like that.
just out of vision, standing there.
That's
Looked like
why
a
he
dog.
took the ignite as well, and he just popped ignite, waiting for the Lulu to ward, and then abusing it and destroying the Ezreal for a little bit. Wasn't too effective, but I can imagine matchups where that would be incredibly cruel and brutal
With
for the enemy laner.
I suppose with the Ezreal Lulu, they're at least going to be safe in most of those interactions because the Ezreal can just get the fuck away from that shit. Right, so how's the dumb tank matchup going? Oh, Nunu's ganking.
Nunu
Oh,
was attempting a gank, but then snowballed himself away, missing the Maokai completely.
well, the vision was up. I suppose he should have started earlier. He'd gone. I suppose they realised that he'd taken Gromp as well. Let's have a look. So in terms of CS, meets dumb tanks fine, jungle fine. Oh,
Dumb
Vel'Koz has
tanks
got
are
CS.
having a fight. Xerix going in on the Maokai, but the Maokai sustain is too much. And look at the amount of damage that even Maokai with no mana is able to put out on
Tanking
the
the wave though, that's
Mordekaiser.
the issue. Xerix is taking all that wave damage there, so it's not the fact that it's the Maokai damage. If you actually look at it, it's just being destroyed by the minion wave.
Oh, and now the Twitch goes in again, and Ezreal is forced to get away, jump away. I forgot the name of the ability. I'm sorry, I'm not an
Arcane Shift.
LEC caster. And now they're abusing the minion wave to freeze it, waiting for the minions to get back.
I'd like Yumi to drop off and tank this so the Twitch doesn't take the damage.
Yumi instead chooses to heal the wave. This is a very smart strategy to abuse the bush to make sure that you can freeze the wave. And now red side is forced to back. SKT6 is forced to back to reset, even though they don't have a lot of money to actually buy something. The Ezreal does pick up the tier and is now going to start stacking it together with the Rise. I feel a pattern here, where last game they went 3 tiers on their team, now it's only 2.
At least the Mordekaiser will be doing some damage during the game rather than going the hardest of scaling builds. I assume he will first item buy Leandries, though it'll do well against the Maokai until the Maokai picks up at some MR. But I assume
Maokai is already looking up to pick up some MR, going for Spirit Visage first, which resonates really well with his passive that allows him to heal. And Dantic's putting in an early ward, and it looks like they're going for the dragon early on, setting up vision. Now, red side does not see this with this ward. They do not spot out the dragon being taken, but Red Banana is looking to go in, but he decides to take the blue buff instead. And dragon is successfully been taken.
I don't know though. But you know, it just made me. I mean, that was awful. But you know, what just makes me happy looking at that number of pink wards on the red team inventory. Look at it, glorious.
Look at
That's
the
good.
vision that red side has, and even through all this vision, they didn't put a ward with the dragon, and they were able to get the dragon sneaked away from underneath their
Well, it's that
noses.
weird parallel, like that inside bush, like the one that's in the pixel bush, does nothing in terms of vision. That ward that's just timed out there was doing nothing in terms of vision. It could have made more sense to have it in the Trial Bush or in the Dragon Pit, but instead it was just in like this weird square of wards off it, whereas 2 wards would have covered all the vision that they did together.
Hmm.
I mean,
And
it's
it would
great
have,
having wards
and
on
it
map,
would,
but you don't want to stack
yeah.
them.
And it would have also not mattered because they have walls at the entrance. So unless then it makes a lot more sense to put a dragon because you can't blast yourself over this wall, especially no Warwick. So those were unnecessary walls that are now paying the price, and it could have been used more efficiently. Now it looks like both junglers are satisfied just farming their camps. For now, Nunu getting a little ahead, and now there's a small skirmish in the top lane.
I still don't like the fact that neither of these junglers, both who are dependent on getting to ganks, haven't bothered to buy boots tier 1. Like, I mean, it's not a massive move advantage, but both of them are going to be dumb tanks that walk people. I mean, those tier 1 boots would be making a much bigger difference.
It's also sad to see that none of the junglers actually trying to get ahead some of their laners. They have a great top laner and a great AD carry, and neither junglers seem to be looking for ganks for them or setting up pressure to help them succeed, which is what the jungler should be doing at this point in the game during the laning phase when they have the most amount of impact.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for from your jungler. I mean, if you think that your team scales, you should be playing the counter ganking, just going for vision, keeping an eye on the lanes, seeing how things are going. But I mean, where do you think the scale? I mean, both teams have a nice scaling on their teams. I mean, that Twitch is going to be doing disgusting damage.
Oh,
Oh
and
my
now a
god!
fight. They're looking for the Maokai. The Maokai flashes away, the Warwick comes in for the Mordekaiser, the Ryze is still in the top lane. The Mordekaiser manages to snap away the Maokai, and then the Warwick needs to run with his tail between his legs. Great roam with the Ryze TP.
You
And
know that Xerox was shouting over fucking comms in that chat, just going. You know that whenever he kills somebody, he's gonna be shouting "bam"
Oh,
as he does the Q.
and that's the Vel'Koz. That's the Peep-Poo Teams Incorporated Vel'Koz that just
Happy Po
destroys them.
teams. Don't ban Vel'Koz. Well, this looks like he's showing that that's why you ban Vel'Koz.
That's why you banned Falcons indeed with that one beautifully done one shot. I can just hear Leo, the mid laner, raging over comms that okay, this is balance. This is how Falcon succeeds.
I mean, he's gone the super scaling build. He's not just gone tier. He's going tier rower. He's going full rise scaling build. He's not even attempting to have any fucking lady prowess.
No, but he is attempting to have pressure on the map with the teleport that he picks up, where the Falcons does not have teleport. The Rise will be all over the map trying to get his team ahead, where the Falcons will only be waiting for the roams to be done. Look at
See,
that disgusting Twitch though.
well, yeah, but the Twitch is doing nothing. I mean, he appears, he comes out of stealth, but actually he's done nothing to the Ezreal. The Ezreal's just going to sit there and farm. He's getting that advantage in terms of laning. He's getting ahead on CS, but I think that's just the fact that he's the better player who's just farmed slightly better. In terms of ganking ability, he's not going to be able to kill him. I mean, getting these...
However, Red Banana is in a difficult position. The Warwick ult doesn't connect.
That's one!
But the Yumi ult does. Shutting down the Nunu.
So that's 0 for 1 on the Warwick ult counter.
Let's go. And this dumb tank matchup, I don't expect much to happen. What I do kind of hope to see is that the Maokai will force the Mordekaiser to trade underneath the tower and then stun lock him. That's one thing that's always enjoyable to do as a Maokai. That's the only way I actually see them winning trades with each other, where the Mordekaiser is looking to poke him down and then when he's half HP ult him in the middle of the lane if it's possible.
I tell you what, I do like though the Merc treads on the Mordekaiser. I mean, because you're not going to get anything out of Magic Pen Boots in this matchup because Maokai's just going to stack MR. So just going for the tenacity and just saying, well, sod it, I'm just going to end up doing more damage in the fight by by passive.
And Red Banana is still not learned, even though he does have a control ward. He's not putting it down at Dragon, allowing them to be caught off guard. The Twitch ult's been thrown down, the Ezreal ult's been thrown down. The Lulu seems to go down, but the Ezreal with the Twitch ultimate. Insane play by Dantix, who's managed to take his enemy laners out on his own together with the Yumi, but you know, Yumi is just...
I'm not going to say same play, I'm going to say auto-attacking. 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 There was no dodging, he was just stood there and auto-attacked.
By that logic, isn't that what all ADCs do?
Well, that's what everyone knows about ADCs, especially the current meta, is being described as you're just there to push towers and kill tanks.
And that's a fair description, but if auto-attacking that's all there's to it, then Dantix definitely knows how to auto-attack better in this case.
He good auto-attack. Dantix, good auto-attacker 2020.
Yes, confirmed. And Silverpin picked up the Mountain Dragon, and it looks like we now have the soul ready and available, and it's an air dragon. And instantly the Twitch goes in, knowing that the Lulu has no... Lulu did have summoners. She had exhaust and flash and used neither of them to try and survive.
Well, that's the bronze player.
It happens. You hate to see it happen. But it's very smart that the Twitch is trying to abuse it. Regardless whether you like it or not, it's a good play by him. And he does manage to shut down the very squishy Lulu and get a second get another kill, and he's looking to get himself an air. In the meantime, in the top lane, the Red Banana seems to be ganking the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser ult is on the Maokai, not allowing Red Banana to actually help, and he channels the absolute zero, even though the Mordekaiser seem to be having it. Good gank by Red Banana. Now let's see if he can translate it into more pressure in the top lane. Pressure that they so desperately need for the bot lane.
Take Herald. Take
shit.
Herald. Go to Herald now. What are you doing? There you go. Start the Herald. Good.
Good. However, Silverpin is nearby, and the Maokai does respawn in 7 seconds, and he has TP up. So they could be looking to start a fight here with the Velcos that can do immense damage.
Quicker than Rise.
Okay, the Velcos seem to be making in. The Rise going on the flank. The Warwick being catched out, but the Maokai is spawning in. The Warwick being taken down quickly by the Mordekaiser.
I mean, that's the thing. The Mordekaiser was there.
And the Mordekaiser goes into ham. The Mordekaiser puts down his shield. It seems to be flashing out. He seems to be surviving. Now the Twitch has joined the fight together with the Yuumi, and Red Banana will be getting destroyed and a shutdown on his life, where the Rise will be looking to get away, but the Twitch is not done yet. Still auto-attacking when he's being Dolphin with the Yuumi ult and the Maokai root. Unplayable, one would argue. And only now the DP of the Mordekaiser with half HP is coming back.
Well, no, he wasn't able to TP in. He'd only just managed to... So, if they hadn't picked up that kill, I would have said it actually would have been an advantage to Red Team, because what this is going on, Red Team is probably... Are they going to take bot tower? Can you have a look
They
at the
do
HP
take bot tower.
So, yeah, so the tower actually is not a bad trade for Red Team. I mean, you get the gold onto the Twitch, but actually in terms of overall gold, Red Team take the advantage from that.
However, look at this. The Manamune is being bought by the Twitch and Renan's Hurricane. This Twitch is looking to do some damage, and as soon as he's fully stacked, I am not entirely sure if any of the squishies of SKT6 will be able to survive. Especially with this buffed up Ardent Sensor Yuumi.
I mean...
He already has 1.5 attack speed, and that's without his Q and without the Ardent going off. That's already a lot.
I without an assassin, something getting to that Twitch is going to be a little bit of an issue. You're just going to have rely on the Mord. The problem is the Mord will probably die in his death realm now, with the Twitch being so large.
True, but if the Mord times it right... Oh, and the Twitch is looking for another fight. Polymorph instantly coming out on Twitch, not allowing him to do more damage.
Really nice. I mean, I was shitting on the Lulu there earlier, but actually, if she just manages to do that every fight, she'll be doing her job.
Yes, and if she managed to exhaust him as well, to lower the damage that the Twitch does by 40%, that's going to be immense, and actually give the Ezreal, the Lulu, and the Rise some survivability during fight. However, Domban Pelkos is now looking up to contest the Rift Herald, where the Ezreal's trading aggressively with the Velcos, and the Twitch is coming top, and there's no counterplay to this. Leopold knew what was going on, and as soon as he realized, he gave up, knowing there was no fighting back.
Yeah, channel time on the Rise ult.
The channel time?
Yeah, because I'm just thinking he might have been able to at that point, and just
2
Rise
seconds.
ult. So I don't know whether he died. If he actually might have been, if he died.
However, look at this Twitch damage. That's a double kill. Where in the bot lane they're fighting for a Warwick kill, a return kill, but Red Banana is being caught off, and the Twitch is looking to close the gap with his Q. Red Banana trying to roll in, but being disrupted by the Q. Now the Rise is TPing in, but Will he survive? No, he will not. Twitch will pick up the kill with this insane amount of damage. And now we have a 10-1 Twitch together with a Yumi. Harry, tell me, how will SKT be able to climb back from this?
Stack fucking armor. Get some bloody armor and hope for the best. I mean, I'm noticing the lack of healing reduction is a little bit of a concern. I'd probably have been liking for a bramble vest onto the Nunu rather than building into the whatever the fuck it's called, the item that makes you run faster. Um, uh, the armor item that makes you run faster, whatever the fuck that's called. But yeah, I
You
mean,
mean Righteous Glory?
nope. The one that gives you empowered auto attack, whatever
Dead
the fuck
Man's
that's
Plate.
Dead Man's Plate. That's what Nunu's building at the moment. But I mean, you'd be much better betting healing reduction on him because the Twitch is going to be going through your entire
True,
team.
or even Random's Omen. And disabling some of the auto attack speed that he has. Random's
I mean,
Omen definitely a sleeper OP at the moment.
yeah, but
Item
it's
wise.
better against the crit builds. That's the thing. And Twitch isn't going to go for a crit build at this point
No.
unless he's going for age next
And
time.
look at this, we're just gonna see the same repeat. The Yumi ult will be able to lock down, and then the Twitch ult doesn't matter. He can just auto attack minions in the middle of the fight and still kill them. Now the Rift Herald Eye is being popped, and they're looking to run it down in mid.
I mean, considering the positioning of the players, and you're seeing that Xerox's top lane, you can look to take 2 towers off this if you just keep shoving that wave in. They don't have the wave fleet. The Rives, he's got blue buff, but I still think they can push this wave again, get another crash, and take another tower.
They might
Yep.
even look for an inhibitor tower. No. Red
No,
Banana says no more, I smite this.
You've got the Mordekaiser roaming through top river. He'll be coming down.
However, Dom and Falcos is now looking to push bot lane together with their AD carry that's incredibly fed at the moment. Vision is being cleared out, and look at this offensive warding line that Dom and Falcos has put up to enable a side lane push. However, I would have liked a ward here to spot out any people coming into the jungle.
Now, just as a side note, just to point out something. What do you think about? I know Leandris is considered to be a core item on the Mordekaiser, but I would be tempted maybe to, rather than build Leandris second, just to build that hourglass, just so that you have a bit more
Zonius.
survivability. Yeah,
Yes, he should have definitely switched up to Sonya's hourglass as soon as he realized that the Twitch was
The
going
other
to
thing
get
I
back.
don't like is the fact that he's still got that Dorian shield when he should just, at this point, he should be selling that and getting a pink ward. I mean, it's not going to be doing that much in terms of fights, and getting that extra pink ward and having it on the map is just so much advantageous. I like players to have one pink ward on the map and have another ward in your inventory, so that when you push up or you see a ward go down, you can just clear a ward. It's worth, in terms of vision, just being able to drop a pink to kill a ward. And I think that's a mentality that players don't quite understand.
Players usually don't really understand why you even have to ward. And it's usually only in higher elos where warding is being appreciated more. However, the SKT is looking to regain some of their jungle. The Rise ult, however, being used to hop over here back to the mid lane tower. Interestingly, I guess he was afraid of maybe a Twitch engage, and now every vision that they put into the jungle is now going to get cleared out in a bit.
Tell you what though, they're doing exactly what I'm thinking to do, which is just to put the Mordekaiser in the side lane and just have him split push. And you say he's stronger than the Maokai. He can do the damage at this point. He can do it. Look, watch what he does, and just play away from the Twitch and just rely on the fact that you can do 4 feet. Look, so you pulled the ult already. You just do that all the time, and then if they go vision back, then he just backs off a bit, and it's giving you time to scale and your Ezreal to get your items.
Alright, but now SKT6 has a unique opportunity to try and fight when the Maokai is not there. They have a Mordekaiser that still has TP and flash up, where the Maokai just used TP defensively to save a tower. They looking to contest Dragon, but I don't feel too much for it. I feel like if the Twitch shows up, they're all gonna get disintegrated.
Yeah, but you can't let them take this. If you're seeing a Twitch where it's picked up fucking Cloud Soul, you're going to be seeing a super fast Twitch that's just shredding your entire team. He's already a menace as it is, but allowing him to have that on top of it is just going to make it even more obnoxious.
It's also really unfortunate that Red Banana has 3 kills instead of the laners having them.
Ooh.
And now
It is
Vision is being cleared out, Scuttle Crab will be taken, and everything looks to be going the way of Downband Falcons. Now, SKT6 is grouping up, they're staying close together, which might be argued for and against for, but Dragon will now be looking to get started.
You're just going to walk into that choke point and get
And there's
destroyed.
no control wards at all. They didn't put down control wards at all. They allowed the Maokai to join the fight. The Maokai is on the back line. Noon is going in with an absolute zero. The absolute zero is not enough. The Yumi shielding, the Yumi healing is so much, and the Twitch can just free hit.
What the fuck has he ulted? He ulted the Maokai?
The quadra kill for
What the fuck?
Dentix.
Why the fuck did he Mord ult the Maokai?
And they'll be taken off. Baron off it, and I feel like that's when you have to call it game. Even though the gold difference is not as high as you'd imagine, because SKT6 has been doing a great job in keeping a farm, this is what you'd call game. There's no way to deal with this switch, and they just spent all the resources that they had on not dealing with the Twitch, but dealing with things like the Maokai. The Mordekai's ult should be going on the Twitch, the Exhaust should be going on the Twitch, the Polymorph should be going on the Twitch, but Twitch is still allowed to be free hit on.
Ugh. There's some fucking janky ass itemizations. At this point, Nunu, fuck that MR. You don't need MR items. You just need armor. Nobody on that team's doing any fucking magic damage. Just stack the armor. Stack armor.
They'll also be looking out for the Yumi damage that eventually will go through. The Yumi ult's still quite strong damage wise and always underrated in how much it can actually do.
Look across those bloody red team inventories. Look at the number of stupid pots and fucking Dorans that should have a fucking pink ward in those slots.
Control wards that can actually counter the Twitch, where nobody is allowing any counters to be made against Twitch. No one will ever see it coming. The Rise was caught off guard and had to flash early because he didn't have a control ward. Instead, he had pots and didn't see the Twitch coming.
Alright, so are you a blue team? The problem is that you're only going to take this mid inhibitor because the waves are.
There they go. They're looking for a fight. The Mordekaiser's ulted the Warwick of all people, and the Twitch is now able to free hit.
So the
Nunu is going in. The Warwick is still alive. However, the Twitch is able to free hit on the Nunu, and no further engages are being done by the rest. And that's a triple kill, and that should be game. The Twitch should be looking to end.
Xerox, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to win the fight, not fucking int it.
A bold one indeed, and the Ezreal's trying to look for the hero play, but the Yumi heals out too much. Even with an Executioner's Calling, it doesn't matter. And that is game 1 of week 3 of the PTL, where we see Downband Falcons get their first win on the board. And SKT6 losing it out. GG.
Well, that was AD carry difference if ever I've seen it.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, actually, to be honest, it was also a little bit of draft difference. The draft just allowing it to carry.
It's so unfortunate. You hate to see it happen when two teams try their best. But one of the things that I do have to note out is that this is the third time that SKT6 is constantly putting all their eggs in the scaling basket. And it has so far not worked out for them. And I can already preach you that the game tomorrow they will likely put all their eggs in the same basket. And I can already preach to you that it will likely not work out either.
You can't scale without a strong jungler. You need a jungler that's going to be applying pressure for your lanes to scale. You are not going to be able to do that with Nunu in the jungle. It is just simple. It's just how the map works. If you want a team that's going to scale, You need to be able to protect them, and you are not protecting shit with a fucking Nunu.
Exactly, exactly. It's sad to see, but it had to be done. Now we've been looking forward to another team that is going to play today. We have Team 7 that is going to play against, if I can find it,
Okay, so Team
our
7, that's
favorite
Peter's team. Yes, Team 8. So it's Lucky 7
Team
versus Team Wales.
Wales. Exactly,
So,
exactly.
fuck you. Team Wales are not the favourites.
Team Wales by far seem to be the favorites.
Fuck you. In to win are the best team.
In to win are the best team. Are you plugging yourself here?
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. If I'm not going to do it, who else is going to do it? I mean, I heard a myth about the team being a Team Carlo, but I think that team's dead.
True indeed. It seems like some players decide to go drinking during summer instead of else. Why didn't you
You both.
change the logo for L7? Because I only just got home and I didn't have time for it. I'm terribly sorry that I also have a life. My bad. I'm sorry. I know. I should just drop it.
Oh, alright, well, I'm going to go and get another beer, and then you can
Yes.
look at the hilarities of Team 7 versus Team Wales.
Can it be? What I wanna see? 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 Can it be? What
Alright, Peter, you need to respond what I PM to you, but just an FYI, I sent you the link to the drafts. Don't start until you
I mean, I
are given the
responded. I
okay.
don't see what else do I need to say.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm just checking in that you got everything. And a
Yeah,
reminder
yeah.
that in the last 10 seconds you're only allowed to pick a man. If you did before that, then it can be open to game penalties. We're not gonna bother about the second or so, but just keep it in mind.
Yeah, yeah.
If there's any issues going on during the draft, please notify me or any of the others immediately, then we can try and figure it out. If you wait with it, then it might be, ignored.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, then I'm gonna check with Sheba real quick, and then I hope we're gonna have a good game.
Yeah, just man.
Alright. Hello, 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 hello.
You back on stream, Carlo?
I'm back on stream.
Okay, we joined by Badook now.
I'm just asking the ready checks, and then we can go into the picks and bans of this game.
Right, so Carlo, what are you looking at for the strengths on these two teams then? What's the thing that stands out that says, oh my god, Team 7, that's their fucking ball ass thing to do?
I will give an answer to that in just a small bit. Oh, I've asked for a ready check, but apparently we need to wait a little second. One
draft.
Yeah.
I do expect PTL's team to have good synergy because they've done a lot of practices together.
They
They've
did.
They've got a lot of smart players on their team. I mean, you look across that team, you think PTL's fairly knowledgeable about a lot of roles in the team. Airy is a fairly strong jungler and a good strong support. He offers good map strength and good map knowledge in terms of pressure and where to look about things. It's just whether the carries can carry.
Cookie's a good jungler as well. He was on my team last time. He subbed in after our jungler had to drop out, and he has good comms. He's good. He doesn't tilt or anything.
Alright, it's nice to see that you all are able to talk fondly of some of the players on the teams. They are ready and are going into the drafting phase at the moment. Now, what I'm looking forward to is can Team Will stay on the high that they've been riding, or will they finally be spit in the face by Team 7?
It will be a turn up for the books. I mean, Team 8 are probably the favourites, having played 2 incredibly dominant games so far. They've looked very strong. They've practiced a shit ton. Like, they're enjoying practicing, which is great to see. The fact that they play games together because they enjoy playing together. Has Team 7 missed a ban there?
I
Yeah.
am.
Do you want to go and check in terms of how things are going with that?
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
maybe
it's a misban.
Alright, do you want to just go and organise that, or do you want me to go and check with them? Yeah, I'll go across it quick.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check with both teams, or are they alright?
I'm gonna remake the lobby in the meantime.
Do you want me to tell both teams?
Yeah, tell them. I just messaged them to be sure, but just tell them. Alright, seems like there's a little bit of a technical issue. So... sending out the links. Waiting and then getting the stream ready. Okay, Harry is in on the situation. Sorry folks, seems like people were not paying attention, and even when I asked them for a ready check, they were not ready apparently. And I'm gonna hand out the spectate links now. And quickly gonna ask them to ready up.
Told both teams. They fucked up the bans. Don't worry about that.
Alright.
It appears that Thinsel is helping them in draft, but will not be in their comms for game.
No. So they have managed to gain a coach for Team Wales.
I mean, I'm not sure how great Thinsel is as a coach. I suppose he's knowledgeable about the game. He just tilts like a motherfucker.
He is very knowledgeable about how to tilt, so maybe he can use this knowledge to try and prevent the tilt.
He's known as the Elu terrorist amongst certain circles.
Certain circles, indeed. Now, with Coach Tinsel for Team Wales, maybe they will find themselves in an advantage, as Lucky 7 is instantly looking to take away the Cassadin for Cabanos, I believe.
Yeah, Cabanos plays Cassadin.
Yeah.
He's a strong scaling pick, and if they're planning on picking a scaling comp, they don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there goes the Lulu ban, aimed towards. Is that Sved?
No, Airy.
Oh yeah, Airy. Yeah, I suppose Airy. I mean, it's been successful in banning at Airy's champion pool. I mean, he's diverse in his picks, but they are for strong AD carry, so they want to be reducing the number of possible AD carries they have.
Airy is definitely an underrated player at the current moment, but Enchanter supports seem to have a knack to always find their place in a match. The Vladimir also being banned against Cabanos, and looks like they're gonna try and set up their mid laner for success. Hopefully it will work for them, but it's an interesting set of bans, and they're definitely there to prevent good team fighting and good scaling. Now another Enchanter is going to be banned, and no one seems to be forcing bans on top of the AD carry or anything else.
So if it's not an Ashe ban now, it's got to be an Ashe first pick, unless you think that Ashe has been nerfed enough. Team Wales is always happy to fall back to Ashe though.
Tsunami definitely favors the Ashe pick, and they might leave it open, which I would consider to be a mistake. Nocturne is a very important ban. Sheba has been playing a shit ton of Nocturne lately. Anyone that has an OPGG can check that out for themselves. So he's highly comfortable on him, but it does leave picks like the Gragas, like the Kazakhs, like the Kartas still open and available for him, when I feel like they've banned out champions that are not that priority.
Also, his Kha'Zix is still open as well.
Yeah.
A triple ban towards Airy. Christ, they are.
Airy,
hitting
what have you done? Have you given them nightmares?
I mean, Lucky 7 has a strong AD carry, but he's got a diverse champion pool, so they're going, alright, we can't ban you out, let's ban out the things that are going to supercharge an AD carry. But they've still left Yuumi open, so that's a
I'd like to think that,
possibility.
and Yuumi is then being picked up by Lucky 7. They've
So this could be-
completely destroyed the champion pool, but there's still Sona open, for example. Soraka is open. Sona is a sleeper OP this patch and last patch as well, looking to gain a lot of traction and elo and pick rates.
So we're going to see an Ashe pick, aren't we, from Team Wales?
Yeah.
There's no way they're not going to pick it, but what they pick with the Ashe? Something to protect her.
What is good against Ashe? I'm not really sure about bot lane matchups.
Alright, so you could all in her with something like a Tristana if you want to, or a Draven.
Oh,
something that's
what's
just
really
killer.
good against an Ashe is like a good Thresh, a good Nautilus, like heavy engaged compositions, because then you don't heavy engaged CC compositions, then you don't allow her to play the game at all. That's usually good for a lot of picks, and it gives a lot of safety for any AD carry pick that you want to pick, but they have already locked in a Yuumi. So what I suggest is that they're gonna pick a heavy CC top laner. Ornn has now been picked, however, so the only champion that I consider to be champions considered to be open are a Maokai, or maybe even, dare I say, a Malphite.
A Malphite, perhaps?
Pick the
Yeah.
Kazakhs out. Look, the Kazakhs was open. The Kazakh Sheb is a beast of a Kazakhs. You've got a Yuumi. You can supercharge that Kazakhs. It showed in LCS and LEC games today. If you've got the God Gilius played it. It is a disgusting combination of putting Kha'Zix and Yumi together. He
However,
just
Cookie
stealthed
does
in.
not play Kha'Zix at all, so he's not comfortable on a champion. And you might argue that playing a champion that you're not comfortable of is equally as int as letting it go through.
Alright,
The-
so
I don't agree with the Lux pick. The Lux is one of those picks that keeps getting picked in ranked solo queue, but also apparently in tournaments right now, that you barely get any money worth for your buck. If she misses any of her skill shots, she's already redundant, and it's very easy to dodge her skill shots. Her E, which is an AoE slow, is the easiest to hit, and even that one. However, she does have one-shot potential, but what are you gonna one-shot? The Sejuani? The Ornn? The Ashe?
I mean, with that big fucking dumb tank line, I'm just liking Team Wales already. They're doing exactly what I like.
I mean,
Play dumb tanks, play something behind it.
yeah, I don't know about the Ashe pick. They're gonna be. I mean, not the Ashe, the Lux.
Yeah,
Right,
I don't.
Is Lux is the mid laner, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Luxie,
not. There's so much better options.
However, you need to
It's
remind
Cyberpunk.
yourself that Cabanos is originally a support player. I would actually rather have seen, if he was gonna try and meme us already with a Lux pick, then he might as well try and show off his Rakan mid that he's been flexing on in chat. I would
It's
have.
not Cabanos, so that's not. Isn't it Luke C playing mid lane for Team 7?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And it's Luke C who, again, he doesn't have a massively strong champion pool, but I suppose the fact is they're just trying to get him onto a comfort pick. They're just saying, all right, let's play something that he's a safest mid laner. Lux doesn't have any horrendous matchups in mid lane. He can just sit there and go, all right, stay there, kind of farm. We know we're not going to play around you. We've got the Ezreal Yumi. I mean, it's a lot of scaling in terms of that bot lane.
I still think something like Vel'Koz would be really good into double tanks because of all the true damage. I do
like
like.
that. Okay,
Or
so
Yeah.
just like an Orianna or a Syndra.
right,
it's
so you
always
pick your
much
support
better.
now. You've got to pick your support now, so you can
Yeah, the Karma. The Karma has been a champion that has been doing well last patch, but got incredibly nerfed recent patch. The patch that we're currently playing on. I don't
But
feel
it-
like it's worth picking at all at the moment.
But what do you pick into an on matchup? What top laner do you want to pick into that?
I mean, there's. It depends if you want to like win or if you just kind of want to chill. I mean, funny enough, one of the hardest counters to Ornn is Singe, because if you put down W, he can't reactivate his ult. So Singe's actually really good against him in team fights.
I suppose also you can build like the Andries and just shred through him with percentage.
Yeah, it's really.
They
a
still
really
be
good
looking to
champion.
pick up their frontliner, and they've 5 seconds left, and they're going for a Poppy. Poppy at the moment is not a very consistent frontlining, but Poppy does create opportunities for a 4v5.
How do you get the Ashe through that front line? How that Ashe is just going to slowly auto attack. The only way you actually know, I suppose you can rely on maybe the Poppy managing to ult away the front line so you can engage onto the back line with the Amumu.
That is something that's likely all the Mumu flank. But I honestly think that Lucky 7's team composition relies way too much on getting picks and not at all on proper team fighting. They pick Ezreal and Yumi. Ezreal that does not excel in team fights where Yumi does. Lux
Can I
that
get a
also
confirmation to start?
yes. If they are ready, then I'm in chat and they can start.
Alright, so let's look at lane matchups. So top lane, early game, so we've got Ornn into Poppy. So are we looking at just a big dumb tank war, Baduk?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the matchup between Ornn and Poppy. I've never seen it played, but
You've got more experience playing against either of those laners. I can't imagine that either has.
I've never played against Poppy. No one picks this champion ever. Like I haven't seen a Poppy in like all season. But
Wait a second. Is it full 5 head? Can you slam the Ornn into his own pillar?
That might actually be a 5-head move indeed. Maybe Ornn can't even reactivate his ult if the Poppy W is timed properly.
yeah.
However, I have personally
it
never
does
seen
stop,
that
yeah.
interaction.
I think it will still fire the ult, but I think it will ground him. I'm not sure though.
Perhaps. We will see if it will happen. We will see if it will happen. I'm still a little bit puzzled about the picks. Like, Ezreal and Lux are champions that need time to land some skill shots, to poke out the enemy, and then they want to fight. Where the Amumu and the Yumi and the Poppy really look for hard engages. So they haven't balanced their team composition at all, I feel, for Team 7. What I expect end up is going to happen is that the Yumi is just simply going to go on the Poppy. That it's just constantly gonna run in together with the Mumu, and that Ezreal and
that
Lux
is-
have to self-peel.
That is a super fast Poppy, though. That
That
is
is
a
a super fast
Poppy.
Poppy.
And actually, we remember that when Poppy pops her fucking area of effecting, that stops the Ornn from charging,
Yeah,
it stops
the
the
W.
Sejuani from charging. It'll even actually stop the Corki from Valkyrieing. So that once she gets there, there isn't any escape. It's no escape, no surrender on the Poppy, but still. I mean, Team Wales, that's a beautiful team comp of, we are just going to siege the shit out of you and push down towers, and if you engage onto us, we're going to just fucking hard engage back.
I agree. Though there are some points that need to be noted out. For starters, for example, their top laner is not as comfortable on the Ornn pick. Ornn can be quite a difficult champion if you are first timing it. Not that he has a huge skill, that you need a lot of skill to actually play him, but you do need a lot of skill to actually time his abilities and make sure that you have enough mana to last you through the laning phase. So
you're saying
maybe
rather than gone back to their Malphite pick of just continually picking Malphite and putting Corrali on dumb tanks top.
perhaps what I'm just saying is that if you're not as experienced with Ornn, then you might have a really bad time with him. The same thing goes for the Karma as well. Karma is one of those champions that looks easy in first sight, but if you don't practice her enough, if you don't give her enough time and love, which we can guess and presume over the fact that Lulu has been banned, Nami's been banned, Jan has been banned, this is not a pick that he wanted to play. So the Karma is definitely a pick that if you don't fully understand her, she can backfire a lot. So it remains to be seen. They have a good composition, but not the players that are as well versed on some of the champions that they're on. So I'd be curious to see how that will work out.
This is a question that we're going to have to see in a second, and I want to ask you, how many times will we see in team fights Karma mantraing a Q instead of mantraing the fucking shield? Because that shows you whether you are comfortable with Karma, and whether you save the save the mantra for doing the big team shield and allowing everybody to be stimmed to mother hooker, or whether you bother to just continue to spam your Q because you want to do damage. I mean, has Growly played any? I'm trying to find at the moment, looking through Growly's history, trying to find any experience on the Ornn. He doesn't have.
I've played some games with him, but in all my games I don't recall him ever playing or even wanting to play Ornn. I feel like maybe if they were to go for such a champion pool, then a Shen would have still been better to enable, for example, the Corki engage, enable a Karma E engage, enable a Sejuani engage, and then you'd still have the same scaling. But we will see. Maybe they are big brain and it will work out. But so far, even though I prefer Team Wales' composition, I still feel like that Lucky 7 might have the better players to pull this one off. If they time their team fights right, if they allow the Ezreal and Lux to poke down the enemy, then they will be able to get ahead and get advantages. However, if they force team fights where an Ezreal and Lux do not excel in hard engages, where the Amumu, Poppy and Yumi do, then it will be an entirely different game, and we might be looking at a victory yet again for Team Wales. Those are the win conditions that I put down for these teams.
Growly is currently sitting at a 37.5% win rate on Ornn in solo queue with 8 games played, so he's not exactly shown his prowess on the Ornn pick so far.
Flaming his win rate in solo queue.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
What else am I supposed to do during this? That's what this whole point is, to flame people. Carlo sits here doing the constructive criticism while I sit and flame people.
And Baduk just says, "This is so bad. Why the fuck are they so bad?"
We offer all three plants. We have constructive criticism, abusive criticism, and just plain criticism.
Alright. At any
Alright,
rate,
so-
it's a couple seconds till the game starts and I'm gonna be loading in. Then we can go on to the Rift and see how they plan to take their team comps to the next level. And if they can play around some of the strains they are putting up for themselves.
Alright, so in terms of what you're looking for as a jungler, I mean, you can turn up top lane maybe. The Ornn base damage is probably big enough that if you turn up there with the Sejuani, you've got enough CC, you should be able to kill the Poppy. The only problem is that if Poppy pops her W at the right point, then both pieces of CC do nothing. So you're not really wanting to show up top lane as the Sejuani. Sejuani showing up mid lane, I mean, you could gank the Lux to the Corki, that's not a bad choice actually. The Lux will push the wave, so you should be able to gank on her. And then turning up Ezreal Yuumi, I mean, try to gank an Ezreal Yuumi's like hitting your fucking head against the wall. You don't want to be doing that anytime soon. They're not going to be doing any damage, they're only going to be there to scale. But you've got the damage from the Ashe and the Karma, so you might try it. As the Amumu, I mean, Amumu Poppy probably actually has enough CC to kill an Ornn. I mean, killing an Ornn is like hard work, but you can probably do it. Depending on the Corki, if he goes low on mana, then you can probably try and go that. It might actually be worth ganking a Corki early game just to get his Valkyrie out. Not because you want to get the Valkyrie out because of the cooldown, just because Valkyrie's mana cost is ridiculously high, so actually it means that instead he has to sit there auto-attacking the waves and can't push it. You could gank bot lane, but again it's a Karma, but the Ashe is gankable.
Alright, it looks like I'm loaded into the game. And there we go, game 2 of the PTL week 3 seems to be on its way. Now let me know in chat if you are Team Wales or a Team Lucky 7 fan. Both of these teams have been going through their games. Both of these teams have been looking to practice, and both of these teams bring an interesting drafts to the occasion. Will Team Wales remain undefeated and stay on their high waves that they've been riding, or will they fall into the depths as Team Lucky 7 takes a win?
So what you're telling me is that we think that Dessa is the carry, so he's the Captain Ahab in this team. He's hunting that white whale and he's aiming to go for that. Or will it be the metaphor that Moby Dick is truly about, and the fact that actually you can't chase monsters and actually the true monster is yourself?
Wait, Lux has a support item.
What?
Oh no.
Oh, is this a mistake by Luke C?
Or is this 200
Maybe
IQ?
this is a strategy.
No, come on, no, really?
I
Are they
certainly hope this is a strategy, because this looks like the most stupid thing you could do.
Does he understand how the support item works?
I mean, I was gonna say I am very worried about Lucky 7 because the skill difference in terms of rank mid lane is really big, and that's probably the worst role to have such a big difference in. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about sending Peter top lane to play tank battle.
Yeah, exactly. But so, are they going to funnel the Amumu? Is that why they built the support item?
Are they gonna funnel the Amumu? Perhaps,
I
perhaps.
think maybe he thinks it's like the old support item where you could just like not farm. and just
Alright, it looks
hit
like
people.
Glorowli is putting down a lot of BM on Peter for not being able to kill him. However, he is being pushed in.
I mean, this is what
I'm
Growly
not sure about this BM kind of emoting and then taking free harass. I mean, it does take balls, I will say. But as for winning, I'm not sure if it's the best strategy.
And this
Alright.
Growly knows enough about the Poppy matchup that he's stopping him collecting the shield.
It doesn't matter if he's not hitting him back.
Now,
no,
one
but
of the
it's-
things that we can instantly notice, however, if we're gonna throw the game back a little bit, is the fact that they have done a full clear. Oh, Peter will be looking for a kill. No, he
Oh,
can't. The minions didn't tank the tower,
Oh no, but that's one slam away. He's a wall slam away. If he
and
gets...
Pete,
Oh,
Oh,
God,
no.
Peter, no!
that's not how you want to do that.
God, that was so... If he just saved the health, he could have wall slammed him and then followed up with a Q and just killed him, but he's taken far too much damage.
Now look at this. At least Sheba has been potting very efficiently, and he's able to do a full clear of his entire jungle when Scuttle is only just about to spawn, and Cookie is looking for him, but there's nothing to look for. Now Growly was able to get the kill. I'm gonna go see if I can go back a little bit for that.
Well, he had no
Cookie's looking for the crab, but he shows in the bush. Oh,
Oh,
gonna
and he's a
lose the
level
crab.
behind because he's not done a full clear. There's no way he can contest that.
and now
Let's
he's
see.
gonna get double crab. He has no prior.
Yeah, I mean, look at all those lanes. Red's pushing every single fucking lane.
This is a really bad start. They're already 1k gold down.
This is indeed, and the 1k gold comes mostly from the Sejuani that was able to do a full clear. It's already bot side for the second Scuttle Crab. He's gonna get double scuttles, and now
Yeah.
has complete pressure on the map.
I mean, it's only a 200k. It's 0.2k difference in the jungle. It's actually you've got differences across the board. This
Well,
is
Ash did start Cole, so she's gonna have more gold than Israel, assuming this is the farm rate.
Ezreal has already been shot out of all his mana.
I mean, your strongest player is an AD carry, and you put him on Ezreal. I suppose you're just relying on late game carrying.
Let's hope that Ezreal is able to do that, because Ezreal, even though late game he is really good, there are champions that can definitely outskill.
Has anyone noticed that the Lux has been back and sold her
Sold
support
her
item?
support item. Exactly. That is 350 gold, I believe, that you just entered.
That's so bad. I guess he's used to playing Lux support.
Oh no, Tsunami's going for the engage. The heal's been put down. And now Peter is being stomped by Growly. Peter not respecting the on pick at all.
I mean, he went and bought a fucking damage item into this lane. He's gone and bought a longsword.
And now he's
Oh.
just gonna get the
Brittle
on
Frost.
clap. And
Brittle,
there we
yeah.
go. The on clap. Growly proving me and the haters wrong. That even though you don't play too
Even
much
though he has
on,
a
and even though you
38%
hit
win rate.
38% win rate, you're still able to do the on clap against one of the better players of Team Lucky 7.
This is why you don't put your best players on dumb tanks.
Yeah.
You need to rely on them to
I mean,
carry.
I can't say that after loss.
That was my criticism of your draft. I was like,
No,
Badooka's
wait.
one of their best players.
Harry, are
Why
you
the hell-
implying that Baduk is one of the best players?
of his
Well,
team?
you know,
Yes.
see, here's the thing. It probably would have been better for winning if I went Swain mid and Zeus played a tank, but I'm nice and Zeus really wanted to play as champion, so no, I can't deny him that. Like, come on.
No. It looks like Tsunami and Enderborg are definitely pulling out ahead in this matchup.
Really? Have you not seen the CS differential?
Perhaps there is indeed a CS differential, but at least they have the pressure going.
Oh god, they've got pressure, but what we're talking about, the Ezreal Yumi lane is not designed for pressure. That's a scaling lane, and in terms of how things are going at the moment, they're already that's nearly 10
Perhaps,
CS.
but the pressure does result
look at
into a
that mid lane,
dragon.
though. It's 30 CS difference mid lane.
Ooh.
I'm going to keep it real with you. The top situation, the jungle situation, and the mid situation definitely makes it feel like this game is already halfway done to finish. Another Scuttle Crab being put over to Shep, but it's gonna be a lot of gold again in his pockets. And the 2
So-
kills on the on sitting there comfortably.
So Peter is trying to build Bork when he's behind into a tank on who's already got
Maybe he's building Death Stance. I don't know.
Sejuani is level 6. Will he be
Oh,
looking
now
for the
that's how the
dive?
matchup works. That's how it should be using. He should be using the W to stop the slam from on to preventing
Oh,
the
the
CC.
Sejuani? The Sejuani going in on the Yumi. Yumi has no one to touch you.
Oh,
Sejuani's
captured.
into deep.
Oh,
Sejuani.
Shiba bit, yeah. I mean, that was
Shebo is going a
He
little bit too
doesn't
deep
die,
for
but
comfort.
he-
Now the Ezreal, the heal
Oh,
from the
the
Ash and the
the
Flash.
flash heal.
Saving the life of the
Wait,
jungler.
Good gut. Slam him into his
Shed-
own fucking.
Shed could have
Oh.
just flashed.
But
I
I'm more
guess-
saying that. Did you not see the top lane matchup? Peter should be slamming the Growly straight into his own pillar. He's just taking bad.
Now Tsunami has no sums. That's really. It's not gonna be good for him.
And the
at all.
Amumu is
I don't
bot
think.
lane and level 6, but he's level 6? Okay, there we go. He leveled
He's
his
just-
ult, but he's
just
not
calm,
looking
man.
for a gank, even though they're far pushed up. Even if you don't actually get the gank off, it's still pressure for your bot lane.
Oh no.
Top lane death.
He-
Oh, goodbye, Peter.
Goodbye,
he-
Peter.
He
Inting.
missed the. He missed the.
He missed the
wall
wall slam.
He would have got the kill. Yeah. He's really. I don't think he's comfortable with this matchup.
I don't feel like Poppy is the right pick
Oh,
to
no.
begin with.
I-
Now the Lux
I
is
can't-
snaring the Corki, but the Corki going in. Corki landing some hits,
Completely
but
misses. Yeah. That was not a good package.
you
But,
just
know,
feel
it's
like
fine.
the
I mean,
skill matchup is not working out for Team Lucky 7.
He's got Malamute and Lux has a Doran's ring. And she went Ignite as well, which is a really big mistake.
The only lane that looks decent for Team Lucky 7 currently is the scaling lane of the Ezreal Yumi. The other lanes look less than stellar in some cases, as well for the jungle, where in jungle it seems that there's a 20 CS differential between a Sejuani and the Amumu.
Neither of them have done any ganks either.
Yeah, but that's just pathing differential. If you're that far behind in CS, neither of them has a better clear than the other. They're both fairly.
However,
fully
Sejuani will be meeting the Amumu here. The honest
One has
Prio.
Pyro.
Oh,
The
this is a-
Sejuani ults, stun locks the Amumu, and there's nowhere you can go from there but back. And the Orn flashes
Oh.
in with the Bristle and manage to take down the Amumu, and this will definitely result into a Rift Herald if they don't already start it. Now the first gonna secure the Scuttle, and then I imagine them looking to go for the Rift
Oh
Herald.
god, that would be
Three-
fucking awful, Yumi ult.
3 14-minute heralds are super strong. They're really undervalued. And jungle
mean,
should always
I'd
go
like,
for
yeah,
them.
I'd also like to point out that you've got 2 plates already down in mid. That's a mid tower if he goes and drops it there. That's mid tower. You could take that easy.
Open up
Should
the map, then you basically have full fire for your fed Corki.
Yeah, Corky's
And I
already.
think the game just is gonna be really, really hard.
What
for
is
them to
Peter doing?
after that.
He's running it down against the On. And flashing away
Oh.
from the On ult. It looks nice, but the
Don't
On
go back
slap.
into oh,
You almost had him if he wasn't so far behind.
Now the On is gonna get his
I mean,
brittle
Ornn's
up
gonna
again.
kill him,
no,
right?
Orn's
There's
gonna
no-
combo him. Oh,
The brittle. Oh, and he does get the
Okay, well,
shutdown.
that's good
I
for
mean,
him.
It's gonna be a herald top. Wait, no, he's not gonna herald top.
He's gonna
he
go back
decides
and
it's better
herald
to
mid.
Keep the top tower up, and then go for the mid instead, I guess. Yeah.
If he
mean,
keeps top
yeah.
tower up, then the On can just keep
Also,
getting
yeah,
kills.
He's going Death Stance. He's not going to play the Rookie. Play the Rookie or Poppy. That would have been an interesting purchase.
What you're telling me is Chad.
He would have had to. I think after that one, I'd recommend him to download Blitz.gg for his item box. Sponsored stream.
You'll notice that Team Wales are big fans of Blitz.gg, hence why they're winning.
True.
And that's actually not a lie. Tsunami quotes Blitz.gg continuously.
Tsunami definitely feeling comfortable being on the winning team. Peter stunning the on comfortably getting away with the brittle.
Oh,
And now
fuck.
laying down the
No
herd, but
trade.
See,
If
this
he-
matchup is pretty good for Poppy. She just falls too far behind.
the dragon being picked up, and now the ult being whiffed by
Wait, another
Sheba.
one of Sheep's classic fucking ults.
And another Ash arrow, but they don't have vision, and now the Karma's gonna run into no vision. It's gonna Mantra Q. The Yumi takes down the Karma, and that's the
Oh!
first kill, but now the Lux is out of position, flashing over the wall where the Corki can follow together
Karma
with
almost dead. A TP coming down from Poppy.
Come on, follow up.
a
Come on,
TP
go
from
for it again.
Poppy. Does
mean,
have a
this is way
speed
too
buff
late,
going
though.
on,
What
but
is-
it's way too late. The Corki can easily disengage together with the
More
Ash.
importantly, did you notice
However-
the ward in Riv, rather than teleport to tower, he could have teleported to either the Baron or the Drake or the one in the river. There's 2 wards available there that he could have gone to. Instead, he went behind in front and didn't bother to, which is just a bad teleport.
Well, they didn't get the tower because they didn't have enough damage on it. But
That's
you
sad,
need-
but
you need-
top
you need
tower
to
will
get-
be
you need to
secured
already
for the
have 3
Ornn.
plates to get the tower, I think, not 2.
Yeah, but
I mean, they still got
A lot of
a ton
plates
of
are being
gold.
picked up by all across the board for Team Wales,
Yeah, they're
and
so far
no
ahead in gold,
towers
this is
have been
insane.
touched so far.
I mean, 5k
And the
in
plates just
sub
went
15
down.
minutes is fucking obnoxious. There's no way that this can be even considered. Oh, you see, that's how it works top lane. Using the W.
Yeah,
to
it's a
disrupt
good
stuff.
it's a good matchup. He just misplayed. It was just unfortunate.
And the problem is those Sunfire procs now are just destroying Peter.
Now Peter constantly looking to try and trade, but now the on ult is coming out and the Poppy ult to
Oh.
disengage. Well used. However, Corki now has picked up the package. And now the Lux snare is down and the E is down. Will he be looking to engage?
probably
No,
just
the
gonna take the
Amumu's there,
tower.
taking the tower, taking the easy route, not the chat move. Come on, Cabanos, we want
Alright,
to
so
see
let's
you
have a-
chat.
Let's have a run through of itemization. So
Before you do that, there seems to be a fight brewing in bot lane.
Oh, shit.
The Ash ult being whiffed, but the Sejuani ult connecting this time. They're diving, Sejuani is tanking.
Oh,
The
damage.
Yumi does a lot of damage, but it
Wait,
looks
so
like
what's Sejuani
Sheba will die
doing?
for it.
So he could have just ran out of the tower. I think.
Yeah, he could have switched tanks, but he didn't.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. This is like this is like the last game.
This is worse than the last game. This
I
is
mean, yeah,
the last
that's
game was
just much
the last
worse.
game. Red team was ahead after the laning phase. Blue team came back. Oh, Peter, you don't understand the range of that ability.
Oh, but the Amumu is top, and they are looking to chase this. However, Cookie is constantly using mana, and now the Sunfire procs are coming in, and On will be looking to try and win these trades and backing them the F off.
God, Growly, he plays tanks well. He just plays big dumb tanks. But the other thing is that unlike Malphite, Ornn does fucking damage.
I'm already gonna enjoy the smack talk I'm gonna receive from him over the fact that I considered that his On would not perform when he's now 5-1.
He's literally the strongest person. No, actually, Corki is stronger. But
Corki is stronger.
it's funny to say, it's funnier to say that he's
We
the
were like-
best player on their team right now.
Oh, here's the
Oh,
Ornn
his
again.
own
Oh.
ult hitting the Peter, but he can't follow it up. And soon he will be running out of mana, so he needs to go back, sadly.
This isn't really what Ornn is supposed to do though. He's just sitting in the side lane.
And
not
it
really
looks
doing
like the
anything.
Corki has been stacking his Manamune really well. The Ashe also has a Manamune bot and is stacking properly. But the Ezreal is the furthest ahead. But look at this damage from the Corki on top of the Lux. Luxie is definitely not having a good time in this matchup.
God bless.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said. You cannot play a game when you have such a difference in rank and mid lane. It's because when mid lane falls, like the entire map just opens up. It's really brutal.
Looks like red team is going to try and set up for the dragon, handing the blue buff over to Kamenos. But Cookie can't face check this.
I just feel so
Red
bad for the
team
Ezreal.
is setting up wards and setting up vision, and they know exactly where he is. They know exactly where the Ezreal Yumi right now is, and they are gonna be looking to get a pick on this. They're all in position. The Yumi gets off and gets double ulted. There's no counterplay to that.
Well, apart from not getting off.
Yeah.
I mean, what's a little bit more concerned is why the fuck is the jungler? Why has Cookie still got a fucking warning trinket?
I mean,
No
so did
vision
Shep.
was being cleared. I mean, I can understand why you still want to keep the warning trinket to try and maintain some of the vision that you have. But Red Team has been way more coordinated in where they put their vision and how they abuse the fact that they have vision. Now they're looking up to pick up the second Rift Herald. They're all grouping for it, for the simple fact that it could always take quite a long time to complete the Rift Herald for the second time. Since it's quite, Shelly's quite tanky overall. So they're looking to burst it down with.
Well, you do more damage to Rift Herald if you have more people. I think it's the eye takes more damage. I know it takes more damage if you have 2 people there.
Yeah.
From that.
It takes more damage.
Yeah. So having more is always does it quicker.
Now
Exponentially.
the Corki is just endlessly able to trade, and I don't know why Peter just allows himself to get into this position. He was out, and he dies. He dies for his
Goodbye.
hubris and ignorance. It's over. You can just feel the morale drop in Team Lucky 7. There was no reason for him to be there. Actually, he was out before. He decided to go back in with no support, no reason, where he had no idea where the enemy was.
I mean, when you're at this point in the game, I feel like there's definitely some morale hits.
Right,
This is
so-
like, yeah,
This is a curb.
this is like what it's like. I'm watching Fnatic right now.
Oh no, don't get me started, Baduk.
No. It's like watching Origin play.
Yeah, true. Okay, we can agree on this. Oh, and the Ashel's getting whiffed, and the Shelly is being summoned in the mid
God,
lane.
Are we going to see a sub 20 minutes?
Sub 20
inhibitor
minute
tower?
game.
No, it's sub 20 minute inhibitor. tower.
Surely not. They're gonna be able
Yeah.
to clear.
Oh,
Oh, and the
Oh,
engage
shit,
on the
through
Lux. The Lux dies, and the Yumi is trying to kite off, but it's absolute devastation. Absolute devastation around the entire
Oh,
team.
the game's over. 20-minute game.
are we going to see a dancing Rift Herald? Probably not. Oh,
And they're gonna
Nice.
chase the Yumi.
run, kitty cat, run!
The Rift Herald died, but it looks like a 20-minute game. Nothing more can be said, nothing more can be done.
Yeah, they can. They're fucking shitters.
Any flame you want to throw out at this point is fine, it's warranted. And it looks like Team Wills remains undefeated, where Team Lucky 7 will go 0-2. The only solace that they have is that they won't be last, because that position is be taken by SK6. Now Team Wills is indefinitely in first place, and we'll be curious to see what their future endeavors will pull up if they will remain undefeated.
Voodoo, what's your big take from that game then? Is he disappeared? Baduk, what's your big take from it?
Well, my take is that you need a comparative skill mid laner.
Good mid
Buys
laners
the
win games. I think I'll agree with that. I also think PTL should be hitting himself, considering he showed that he actually knew the matchup and knew how to play it. He just messed that early level up and just ended up getting snowballed on really hard.
As well for the fact that he would definitely benefit from putting himself on more carry like laner, because he's one of the star players of their team, and if he's gonna put himself on tank duty, then he's not setting himself up for success. I would have much rather have seen that a mid laner that's prone to not perform and prone to dying, put him on a tankier mid laner, like something that's a lot more safer. For example, put him on like a Galio or, God forbid, a Cassiopeia, to try and maintain some solace of disengage for himself, and that he can be punished for some of the mistakes he does, especially when there's such a skill difference.
what's the silver lining has to be for for blue team is the fact that actually their bot lane performed perfectly well in lane. They were ahead in lane. It was just the fact that everything collapsed around them. Jungle pressure was focused around bot lane, so the blue team ended up losing kills because they would just get ganked. I mean, they performed perfectly well. They were ahead in CS. They were in a bad matchup to begin with. So you've got a strong bot lane to build upon. They did really well as a lane. The Ezreal Yuumi is not a strong in lane game, but the fact is they just were relying on their team to scale, but they just didn't have the team to scale with. I mean, red team, you've got to look at great things. Growly, God Growly. I mean, he is like Gilius, the alliteration, God Growly. We've got God Gilius in the LEC. I think we've got God Growly now, as far as
Alright, now you're taking it a little bit too far. I still want him to see him prove himself further. There's only 3 games into the tournament, and there's still a lot more games to go. Speaking of the games, tomorrow we will continue the stream where we will have several more games. We will see if SK6, the one that played first today, will be able to get up a win finally and go 1-3, or will they lose after all and completely might get a possibilities of getting their playoff dreams destroyed. Now, as for the other game that we have Team Wills yet again tomorrow on blue side. So if you're a Team Wills fan, please stay on tight. They will be starting at 20:00 CST European time, and they will be facing Don't Ban Vel'Koz, your team, Baduk. How do you feel? Do you feel excited or scared after seeing the performance they just provided you?
You're playing that team tomorrow, Baduk. How are you feeling about it?
I mean, feel fine.
I feel you may be a slightly stronger top laner than PTL.
Wow, who said I'm going top lane?
We see. Oh God, that's a thing to think about.
The trend of me a mid?
Perhaps? No. I want to see the Fizz mid or the Katarina.
The Anivia.
Let's go. Well, at any rate, I thank you all for watching, and then we will continue the PTL tomorrow at 20:00 CEST. Tune in for more exciting games, and then for tonight, I thank you all for watching, and in behalf of the entire team of PTL, we see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Not off, guys. Goodbye.